how's it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. You've tuned in for weekly recap. Thank you very much for that. Be sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more trucking content, because boy, do I got it. So this right here is called weekly recap. I go over my week as an owner-operator every single week. If I don't work, I'll say I didn't work. But this is it right here, guys. I go over the loads I did. I go over my variable costs. I'm leased to an 80-20 split carrier. I don't talk about the carrier. I've been here for like 3 years now. I just don't prefer people to start trouble with the carrier because I got haters on YouTube, you know. So that's why we don't do that. If you email me like, hey, wink, wink, what's your carrier name? I'm not going to answer it. Like, you know, because the haters could make up a fake email and hit me with that, you know. A bunch of crybabies out there that, you know, can't make it on their own, trying to bring everybody else down. I ain't having it. So, this week here is the second week of February 2023. If you're watching this in the future, thank you very much for that. I haul refrigerated freight with a fuel efficient operation, as fuel efficient as I can get it. I have a 2016 Cascadia right now, Evolution I. I get pretty good fuel economy. I try to make fuel economy a priority because to me, that's where the real money's at in trucking. You can make money in trucking, but if you want to make that big bucks, you got to get your fuel economy right, because that's where the bonus is. That's where the bonus is. Trust me, the mega carriers are not running fleets of aerodynamic, nicely spec'd trucks for no reason, because that's how the CEO gets his big bonus. So if you're the CEO of your own company, get your fuel economy right, and you can get yourself some big bonuses. Would be my suggestion. I don't tell anybody what to do, but that's how I do it. So anyway, let's talk about this week. I like to go Minnesota out and back. Little problem with that this week. My normal run I do back from Maryland was not available, or I was going to have to wait another day for it. So I tried a little something different. Anyway, I took a load Minnesota out to Virginia. 42,000 pounds, negative 10 degrees, $4,400. That's 89 empty miles. That's 1,201 on the loaded miles for an even 1,300 miles on that. And then I got out there. My normal run back wasn't available. I went and picked up at the same exact place I normally come back to Minnesota with, but this one went to Illinois instead of coming back to Minnesota. So I took a load Maryland to Illinois, and that paid $2,000, 28 degrees, 13,000 pounds, 55 empty miles, 836 on the loaded. I can't even read my own writing here. 836 on the loaded. That's 891, I believe. I can't even hardly read that. Horrible writing. For $2,000 on that. And then I got a load out of Chicago back to Minnesota. And that load was Illinois to Minnesota, 60 degree load, 27,000 pounds, 78 empty miles, 403 on the loaded miles for 481 total miles, $1,100 on that one. So the week, $7,500 on the week. Now, looking back at this, I would much rather just get the load for. In the future, if they said, "Hey, your Minnesota load back it'll be available tomorrow," I'd sit and wait till tomorrow, because honestly, that unloading and reloading, you lose a day anyway. So, you know, it's basically the same amount of money without having to deal with that third load of the week. So we'll be working on that next time if we do it that way. So let's talk about it. $7,500 for the week, $6,000 to me, 80-20 split cut, or 80% of my business is $6,000. 2,672 all miles, 222 empty miles, 2,450 on the loaded miles. That's right at 10% deadhead. So, you know, again, splitting the load, you add empty miles in, which ain't benefiting me none. So, again, I might just sit and wait a day if I do it like that time. Like next time, I might just do it. Whatever I just said there. I think I might have just had a stroke. $2.80 all miles for the week. $2.24 my 80%. $3.06 a loaded mile. Now let's go over variable cost. $1,235 on diesel, $63 on reefer fuel, $33 on DEF. I didn't scale any of these loads. and $474 on tolls. A lot of tolls, because having to run around Chicago adds them up. It just does. And anytime I go from Minnesota, East Coast, and back, typically there's a lot of tolls in there. But that's kind of the way it broke down for the week. Didn't pay for any parking out east on this one, which is nice. But let's talk about $1,805 on variable cost. And then you come back over, you bring my $6,000 over, that my cut to my company, and you subtract the $1,805 variable cost. That leaves me $41.95 left to do what I have to do with. I put $500 of that over into the maintenance account, and that leaves me $36.95 after maintenance costs to do what I got to do with. Overall, good week, full 7-day week here. Like I said, I lost a day on unloading and reloading, so just kind of one of those things. Like I said, I would prefer to not split the backhaul, but when freight's like it is, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And 46 cents per mile. 46 cents per mile on fuel costs for the week. So fuel's coming back down a little bit. I was getting better fuel economy. I think it was a little bit warmer that week than it had been. And I'll tell you right now, with this Cascadia, there's a couple things this Cascadia really, really is sensitive on when it comes to fuel, and temperature is one of them. I do run a front cover on this truck when it's really cold out. That does seem to help it, because this truck likes to operate more up toward like the 200 temperature on the water temp, versus when it's cold, it'll stay down to like 170-ish, somewhere in there, 175. There's a difference in it, and I know they design these Cascadias, like the 2016s, like the 09 to the 17s, with a really big grill, and that's so they cool better, so you don't have to kick the fan on as much. And it's great that the fan doesn't kick on as much, but in the winter, that big grill lets a lot of cold air come through, and it's your engine doesn't stay as warm. And when it likes to run at 200 degrees, I like to keep it at 200 degrees. So I do have a front cover I keep on here. I don't run the front cover. I see some guys running front covers like when it's freaking 70 degrees out with a front cover. I don't do that. I only do it when I need it to keep my temperature up. So typically for me, if I'm empty and it's below 20 degrees, I'm probably going to run the front cover. It's literally 10 snaps to put it on. It takes me a minute to put it on and take it off. So I'll throw it on if I'm empty and it's below 20 degrees outside, or maybe below 30. If I'm loaded, it just depends on the load and where I'm at. If I'm running the mountains and I've got 40,000 pounds on, I'm typically not even going to worry about it. That thing's going to be working hard enough to keep itself warm. But if it's flat ground and it's a 10,000 pound load, I might throw it on, if it's 20 degrees or lower outside. So it seems to help the truck hold temperature, which seems to help it get better fuel economy. Just things you test, constantly be testing and working on things. It's like tire pressures, with the tire pressure monitoring systems. To me, it's like, I would rather spend my money on stuff like that than to spend it on fuel. I don't know. I'd rather buy anything than buy fuel, basically. I need to buy fuel to operate my business, but I want to buy as little as possible, because I can spend my money on smarter things, So that's how I do it. But that's it for the week, guys. Another good week. Like, my goal here lately has been 7,000 a week. So, if I can put in 7,500, that's some gravy on top. That helps me out a little bit. I prefer not to work the full 7 days to get there, but hey, that's the world we live in these days. It's there's no there's no $8,000 loads to go out east and a $4,000 load to come back these days. It ain't there for me anyway. But I'm still getting by, still happy to be trucking, and still successful, still winning. So I'll take it. And I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching. I much appreciate it. Be sure to click that like button on the way out if you haven't already. I'd much appreciate that. And take care of each other out there. Remember, people are more important than trucking.